we have a hand up back there.
There are a number of people wishing to speak.
On closed session?
Yes.
Okay. All right, we don't have a podium here, but,
I know, it's hard to hear a couple of our.
I'm not saying it.
Well, you were, I had to hear what you were saying.
All right, so does anybody have any comments on closed session items?
Yes.
All right, please raise your hand. All right. Decide among yourselves who
Yeah.
goes first.
You can come on up here where it'll be a lot easier.
You don't all come at once, just one speaker at a time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we just wanted to tell you guys that I guess Rochelle Shockley, a special ed education teacher, is non-reelected for next year. And we were really hoping that we could speak to you about possibly investigating keeping her for next year because of how much she has done for special needs children. I know that there's personnel things going on behind the scene. I'm not sure, and I know I'm not entitled to that information. But all of us are here. All of us have a child in this program, and each one of them has academically excelled more than any other program. And we just really want you to reconsider or really look into why she was not reelected.
I'm so sorry, but my son has excelled so much, and he has become so much more outgoing because of Rochelle Shockley. And I think that taking her away to put in another intern would be completely ridiculous. Sorry.
I'm here to request that you reinstate her and reverse the decision because
And make her a full-time teacher.
My son has had her for 2 years. He's been in a special ed system since he was in preschool in Brookside, over in Brookside, and he's got nonverbal autism. We got him when he was 18 months old. He was failure to thrive. He didn't know there was his dad. Now we adopted him when he was 2. This last year was the first year that he was ever with a teacher where he had made any kind of real connection with her. And she's been a godsend for me and my family because we do 24/7 care with her. We don't have respite. We do whatever we continue to do at home, what she does at school, and her program has helped him so much that this year he's mastered his numbers from 0 to 5 and his letters from I don't remember. But at his IEP meeting the other day, he's just made so much progress, and he's got 1 more year of school here before he goes into middle school. I don't want him to lose that. Without just going without her during the summer, he digresses a little bit, even with the extended year program. And her program is designed for autistic children. And I know that just because I know that he may not be able to talk, he may not be able to tell me, I love you, or hi mom, or I had a good day, but he tells me by his actions and by what he does and how he responds, that when he comes home from school and he's all ready to give a hug and sit down and play videos or whatever, I knew he had a good day. When he comes home and he's tired and he wants to take a nap, I knew it wasn't that so great. And it's usually those days that he had to sub. And the program that she has, he's not going to get anywhere else. And that's my biggest concern is the program that she has is what's working. It's not just Rochelle, it's the program that she has. You put somebody else in that doesn't know that program or doesn't want to do that program or isn't educated enough to do that program, they're not going to get the quality of education that they've had for the last 2 years, and that's my biggest concern. And so I'm pretty much here to plead with you to please don't let her go. Whatever the reason is, I know it's not because I know her style of teaching, and I know the results of her teaching. I know it's not based on her ability to teach. And whatever the reason is, don't let that cloud your judgment as to whether or not she stays or goes. Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else want to say anything?
Yes, please. We moved here from another district. My daughter was 10. This is her first year. She was left to do nothing after the teacher left because an intern came in. They promised me that the program would still be the same, everything would be fine. Didn't happen. The lady would let my daughter wander around the campus that was open, get lost. Couldn't find her. I can't count how many times I got a call and my daughter was lost. She couldn't read, she couldn't write, she could barely even spell her name. She didn't care, she couldn't do any math. She's been here since the beginning of the year. She can read, she can write, she can do math. I had to force her to go to school for her. Now, she wakes up 3 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m., excited to go to class, wanting to learn. Before, it was screaming, murder screams, like she was going to die if I sent her to school. Now, all she wants to do is learn. At home, she's excited to do homework. We pleaded on her IEP in the other district to add homework. The lady didn't even attempt to. In this classroom that she was in, here we walked in, it was a whole new world. They had stuff for the kids to do. Their art was on the walls. Her teacher has taken so much time and invested it in Audrey to figure out how to work with her. And now I'm finding out, not even a full year into this, that she's not going to be here next year. And that all the trust that my daughter finally gained in one person in her entire education is gone. Because of, it can't be her ability to teach. It's going to have to be something else, and I'm pretty sure this is a school, so number one priority should be their education. And if you guys could just simply reconsider for all of these children. I mean, you've got all of us parents here. This isn't just one parent. This is the majority of us here fighting for the teacher, not for anything else other than their education. You can't tell me that an intern is going to be able to do what she's already done for these kids. Make specialized individual changes to everything to adjust for each child. Someone else is going to come here and learn that?
I've never had a special ed teacher yet who's been willing to do that.
No, neither have I. I've never had that. My daughter's been in special education her entire time. And nobody has ever personalized anything for her to fit her needs, to work with her the way she needs to. If her teacher is going to be absent, she knows it's going to not be there. She knows it's going to affect Audrey because Audrey doesn't deal with that very well. She will send a little pep talk for me to read to Audrey in the morning. Nobody's ever cared about her like that before. That's very important. And to take that away from all of these children, not just mine, to me, it doesn't make any sense for whatever reason. It's not for her quality of teaching. So I know we're not allowed to know. That's fine with me, but you need to reconsider for these children.
This meeting, aren't we supposed to find out why we're not letting the Shepley come back? Why do we not give this privilege when our children are being educated by her? Why can't we not find out why she's being let go? Because she's amazing and she's wonderful and she is letting these children grow to be beautiful. And I'm really sad to understand that we can't find out why she's being let go. I'm short. I'm getting over bronchitis, so bear with me. You want me to read this one? That's okay. I'll just start everything. Basically, my son has been in the school districts since kindergarten. He has, from kindergarten to second grade, he had 4 to 5 teachers. Just from kindergarten to second grade. Now he's in 3rd grade. He has a teacher he's actually taught.
He's actually what?
Bonded.
Bonded with him. And he's taking that with him. For him to try and bond with another teacher. And probably another teacher. And probably another teacher. I have seen this since he's been a kid. That is not fair to him. And I feel that whatever's going on, I mean, if you have legitimate reasons, she's a weak kid, or she's just so terrible to the children, you know, I understand that. And she's a wonderful kid. And she's not hard to work with. She's pleasant to work with. I have worked with hard people to work with, and she is not one of those people. And that's just basically what I want.
Can I ask a question, all of you? How did you find out about this action?
About what?
Pardon?
About what?
How did I mean, you said.
Teacher let us know she wouldn't be back next week.
I was notified by the parent.
I was notified by the
Miss-
parents.
Yeah, Miss Rochelle actually contacted me personally.
Let us know she wouldn't be back.
All right, well, thank you for coming. Does anyone else want to speak?
I'd like to put emphasis on this. This is every parent here. Every child that's in her class
She's important.
who has a parent is here. Everyone.
She's important now and for the future of our children and Willits. She's an amazing teacher. She is caring and she is just so absolutely wonderful. Thank you. I just believe that you guys are making the wrong decision by letting her go.
I wanted to add one thing that, to reiterate what Rachel was saying, it's hard for our children to bond with anybody, whether it's a teacher or any adult. It's not something that it's easy for them to do. It's called reattachment disorder, and it's really hard for them to do. And it took Cameron, he had at least 3 teachers when he was in kindergarten to 2nd grade over at Brookside. And he didn't have a teacher long enough to be able, for him to even be able to think about bonding, much less be able to if he wanted to. But it took a year for him with Rochelle for him to give her complete trust. And then it took a year for him to excel. And he's excelling so much faster now that if he's not with a qualified teacher next year, I have to look for other placement, whatever I can find for him that will give him the quality of education that he's getting, because it can't be considered based on her credentials and not based on her prejudice, whatever's causing. We don't know what's causing what the problem is. We're going based on what her education level is and what she can do for our children. If you can't keep her with us when we all want her here, for whatever the reason is, then you don't care about our children. If you don't care about our children, I'll go to the media and I'll find another placement for him that has this program. I'll see where Rochelle goes. I don't care, but he's not going to suffer just because of somebody else's prejudice against Miss Rochelle.
Okay, so I'm going to conclude this. I've given you each a handout from one of the Gen Ed teachers on behalf of Rochelle. I'm not going to read it, insult your intelligence. You can read it before you make your decisions, but I'm here as a language and speech specialist. And I think all of you, except the newest members, know that I have a very high regard for Kelly. I think she's one of the best directors of special education we've ever had. And for that reason, I trust that the decisions made here had some background. Like these people, I don't understand everything that went on, but I do have to say that Rochelle has done an excellent job with the students. She knows her curriculum, she knows her standards, she knows her developmental norms, she knows what she's doing with kids, and she prepares and she does it. I too am at a loss to understand, but I have to trust because I do trust Kelly. I think she is an excellent director, and I think she's also an excellent judge of people. I would love to have these people all be really, really happy with whatever happens next year, because their being happy makes the whole program work, and it has worked this year.
Thank
That's
you.
my 2 cents worth.
Okay.
Thank you.
Is everybody?
And I just wanted to sort of piggyback on that. I also wanted to remind you that some of the non-reelects have been brand new teachers to the district or brand new teachers in general. And the reason I bring that up is because they're under a BITSA program. BITSA's main focus and emphasis, and I tell you because I was invited to do that job and I read the binder and the whole routine, so I'm pretty well aware of what they expect, puts an onus on the administrator and the mentor teacher to encourage, if not almost guarantee, success for new teachers, for right out of school teachers. And it would seem to me that if those teachers aren't successful within their first couple of years, that probably instead of punishing that teacher, you might consider your administrator and your mentors to see if they've been properly trained and prepared to do that mentoring and that taking care of, which then lets you go back and look at your lists of non-reelects and say, gosh, how did this happen that this person is not reelected, or this, especially when you consider the evaluations are supposed to be the most helpful tool that an administrator can use with a teacher and to spark self-evaluation as well as conversation between the two. And if the evaluations are all 1s and 2s and the teacher gets a non-reelect, we have some major disconnects in the system. And it's really something that I too would implore you to look at. Be it in special ed, which truthfully our district's getting a really bad reputation for what they do to special ed teachers, and in your general ed community.
I'd like to say something. I am not a parent for any of the special education children that attend this school, but my niece is Audrey's, I'm Audrey's aunt. And I just wanted to let you guys know that being somebody who was in special ed as a teenager, it's so important to find a teacher that's willing to work with you, that cares about you, and that will do and go beyond what they're supposed to, and that is what this teacher has done. My niece couldn't write her name. She couldn't read, and now she can. And you guys are gonna take that away from her. And all these other children, you need to think about their well-being, not whatever political reason it is to get rid of this teacher. You need to think about, is it gonna be beneficial for these children to lose this person they have bonded with? It is incredibly hard to do that when you're special ed. I am 32 years old. I know, I've been there, and there are not many teachers that care. And this woman cares about her students. She goes through each one of these kids and will do what she can for their needs, not for an entire class, not for anybody who tells her this is exactly how it has to be, which is how it was when I was in school. No teacher cared to specialize in what I needed. And these kids have that. And I beg you guys to just reconsider that and think about their well-being and their success. As a school, that's what you're meant to do, is to help these children succeed. And you need to be reminded of that, and not the politics of whatever reason it is that you're wanting to let this teacher go. You need to think about the children and what it's going to do to them, because children who have special needs and who are autistic have an incredibly hard time to change. It can just completely depress them to where they're reading, they're writing, they're doing math, and they're enjoying school, to where they'll sit there and not talk to anybody. And don't do that to any of these children, please. Audrey has done that over so many times. She'd get a little bit better, and then new teacher would come in, because the same thing would happen, and they didn't want to keep that teacher on anymore for whatever reason. And the teachers that she had didn't care enough to go that extra mile and help her, because she had outbursts. She was unruly, I guess, is what people would say, and they treated her like she was a lost cause, and she's not. She's a very bright young lady, and all of these children are. I don't know any of them personally, but I know that every single one of them has the ability to be successful in life, and this teacher is going to give them that way to get there.
Rochelle does know that about the children, each individually. She understands them so well. It's almost amazing. She blows my mind. I just, we're very, 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 how do I say this? Grateful for her.
You know, the camera he had, he barely made eye contact with anybody, and after he was bust up, he's not making contact. Okay, he's on the way with other people, but there's a textbook at school, and with people at church, he's coming out of his shell. It's like he's broken out of his shell. We discussed that at the IEP meeting. It's like he's waking up.
tried to give you opportunities. Anybody else want to say anything? We're behind schedule here. We can go into closed session. Does anybody else want to say anything else?
Just want to thank you for letting us come and speak. And we hope that you
Well, if there's anything that's left unsaid, I'd like to hear it. But if you're just going to repeat the same thing, it's probably not productive. Anything else that?
Just please reconsider your
Okay,
decision.
thank you. All right, we'll recess for now.
We're gonna go over there.
Is this organized today?